the game.
Yeah, I feel like Clement and Floki specifically are finally free now, all the way at Chonkers. Before, it seems like they were trapped by so many people around them, forced to do things like Letchi is right now. He's in an all-in situation, going down. Unfortunate, but, you know.
Yeah, this is one of them situations where Tooth and Putrick do have the advantage up above. They can put the pressure on, and it's going to be really hard for Resak and Teeson to actually put on a contest here. But they're going to play the waiting game, and they have time. They're in zone. No need to rush. No need to make any rash decisions. And you can see they're not white lining the zone, right? They are going, you know, further south towards the southeast, and you know that's a conscious effort to actually go out there and make sure they have good positioning away from a lot of the players in the lobby. You can see here some fights going on in the zone. This is the stuff that gets rough, guys. You know.
This team talked about a little bit as well. Mustache and Malabuka, who, yeah, I kind of agree with Reese's take in terms of one of the most impressive teams that we've seen this entire season. If you look at Cash Cup placements, if you just look at the synergy these guys are rocking in with, it seems like every Cash Cup has a little bit of a different theme. Sometimes it's a little bit more Elam heavy. Sometimes the zones are kind of strange for everyone. No matter what the problem is, though, Mustache, Malabuka, they're there to adapt, and they look really good. Pink and Anasto, in this instance, still stuck all the way in covert. Joe and Vino, it seems like everyone that's been pressured by Thomas and Tayson is left behind. And they're at a god spot that shouldn't exist. Like, is this allowed? Do we have to have like a handicap on anyone Aqua plays with? Like, it doesn't matter what org he's on, doesn't matter what's going down. There's people with surge around him, though. This is gonna be kind of insane. Noah Riley on a different side. This man's an expert fighter, though. They're just letting this other team simmer. Just absolutely swelter in the heat. And now it's Scram who's in trouble. Ref's guard below him. Aqua finally safe, and Noah Riley is about to go on the attack.
Things are looking pretty good. Matt's looking good. Surge dealt with. And Spider-Man Mythic in hand as well, which we know how good these can be when it comes to those moving zones.
Absolutely. It's a full 10 charges of them too. So take a look at a little bit of the Storm fights, or Storm Surge fights, excuse me, that were happening. This is the specific one we just watched. Scram, so much in the inventory still. Everything ready. Unfortunate for him. The Achi's going in as well with Pixie. Unfortunate here too. It just seems like they're so close to having a little bit of an in at the end of the day.
Yeah, these guys are great, right? Cammy probably been the best player so far in this new chapter in terms of just solo and duo performances. As you can see here, Ziandi definitely looking good, right? Of course, again, got that Spider-Man Mythic like we talked about, and they've already gotten 6 eliminations in this game, most points of anybody else in the lobby. So already some teams are coming in with the hot hand, ready to take on anybody. They don't care that it's a lobby filled with phenomenal players. They just want to come in and get some points.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only them, you know, looking hot with the Elams. They look hot in general. Look at the left-hand POV real quick. Something I want to update you with. Those numbers usually mean nothing. They're just like, you know, what the team came in with and might be a team tag for them. This is now a specific live leaderboard type thing you can see. Those glowing lights from the sky, the number 1 besides Ziandi and Zcod right now, are showing you that they're the first place team so far in the lobby. Not every other team can see that. It's just for our POV. It's just for everyone back home that's watching.
But in this kind of lobby, from this zone onwards, from 4th being a solo, it's not going to be easy. He's got the resources to make it work to some degree, but he would rather be in this kind of position here. Janice and Vortex just 2 below, but they'll be able to sort that out with some ease. 100 above now, as you can see.
I'm going to bring back a word that you mentioned up 11 at the very start of this. It's called adaptation. I feel like this duo right here, it absolutely envelops that entire aspect. The very start of the season, they were the best, I feel like, out of the gate with their drop, with the way they played, how they meshed well in terms of just looking at the duo type of scene in general. And now it feels like even with this spot, they've adapted to this lobby absolutely perfect.
But not trying to be too overzealous, not trying to make himself too big of a target.
He's got max pull now, though, and you saw that big overhead look on the left side just before. There's a no-man land he needs to get through. There's an entire slew of, what, 20 different duos that are going to be right in front of him, and in high ground that's going to be looking down, and that's Janice and Vortex, so don't let anyone move around whatsoever for free. To give you a kind of lowdown on who is just popping off for the moment, Tayson just got a big elimination onto Gogo, it seemed like right before, who actually eliminated Fast Roki, so there's a big power dynamic over there, and he's now on the move on the top side. He's going to get pressured all the way back into the Storm, has the Spider-Man gauntlets to use, actually has a rough landing, and then gets beamed down. Unfortunately, that's where that first place run ends.
Yeah, we knew that was going to be tough, rotating inwards, even with the Spider-Man players taking advantage of the fact that You know, he's in the air, he's vulnerable. And as we switch on over here to Tayson and Thomas, this is what I like to see from them. Oh, I spoke too soon. Thomas will fall straight through, take some fall damage, but he will be able to rekindle with Tayson. 8 below isn't great, but that should be fine as they move on over to that first move-in zone. They've made their way through. They found some good positioning as well. Tayson just tarping ahead. We talked about how he will lead and Thomas will follow. But now it's going to be time to look for a refresh. Their mats are dwindling, and you can see them going towards the back of their tarp, looking for opportunities in the zone right before the second movement starts to pull.
Snake of a tarp with fangs at both ends. Looking for the first edit, tries to find a little bit of damage. Looks like Tayson might have seen a little bit of something. Mustache, though, goes down. 2 duels on the right side to stare in the way that they won't be able to climb. No damage there. It's just unfortunate. It looks like the deal ends up stealing that elimination. They have to keep rolling back. Got a little bit of total damage, though. 91 as they actually move up in layers. Tayson's going straight for the sky. How high are they planning on moving with this one? Rightfully down in the feed. Vidil picking up another. Janice is still active with Bubak going down. Every big name is here to play.
Saw how proactive Tayson was there, making sure as soon as the zone started to move, he was ahead of it. And this is why they want to position them in the front side, cut off any teams and get refreshes just like that. They will take Lazen down, and that's not going to be it for them. They're looking for more. They get that loot, and the mats are going to be really, really beneficial for them. So many players going down though, Shyo. It's absolutely hectic, but these guys are trying to find a sprinkle of control.
While they go into the chaos, Thomas now down to 1 HP. It's all up to Tayson, who actually got out of the way before the horror show started back in those boxes. It's going to be just him with 300 wood available and a little bit of brick too. The tarp's going to be a little bit dangerous this high. He might have to just fall all the way down. No, he actually stays. That's going to be huge. Hen down. He just had height, so who's there now? It's Vidil. It's Reason. The yin and yang rolling in, just knowing exactly how to aggressively tear a lobby apart. They're not in first, though. That's going to be a team all the way down low who might be pressuring Tayson in front of his wall. Armor on the right side. Goodbye. No chance for pressure there, though. Tayson now has 3 different walls to focus on. Will he switch layers? Yes. He's all the way down to just 200 mass now, so every single wall will be absolutely crucial. Every single shot might give him a little bit more of a chance to stay in. Finds a healing enemy right before the wall places. Tayson's almost back in the game. Yes, it's a whole bunch of materials. High ground now is going to be up in his sights. It's going to be tough for Tayson, but he's making it work. A shot from the backside, and he blocks it off with a ramp, and still goes up for a little bit of a height take, then drops down. This man is like an active Lego set. He can adapt and move and do anything that he wants to do against 8 different teams.
I don't know how Tayson stayed alive for so long, but this is what Tayson does. We've seen him get crazy clutches, and even with these absolute monstrous teams above him, Tayson continues to find a way to stay up. Vidil and Reason doing a brilliant job of stopping anybody from usurping them on height, but now it's all eyes on Tayson. He's going to drop down very, very shambles, only got wood left, and he's trying to make himself as inconspicuous as possible. Doesn't want anybody to lay eyes on him, but he knows he will have to hit a big shot at some point. Zone is going to continue to pull, and things will get even more difficult as teams start to scurry their way over. Tayson just trying to sneak his way through on the front side. He's got a decent position right now, but it's not over. He has to get through, and he's going to start running into teams as he's on this low ground. He knows there's a team ahead of him in zone, and he needs to just try and find that right angle, that right shot. He's trying to squeeze it in. Only 23. That's not going to be enough, and so he chooses to dodge the fight, get up to his own builds, but he runs right back into another team. Tayson, you can't hit these shots. You can't keep staying alive, and he will go down. Tayson doing a brilliant job there, but it wasn't enough. Vidil and Reason now will look to close out the game, and they're going to need to get the eliminations as well as they do it.
They're going to try to take that first place spot from Phoenix down below. That low ground team just needs to stay alive. They'll have enough placement with the Elam combinations to take away that top spot for now, but Raisin actually goes down. Cammy is still alive. The trade comes in, and now it's a duo v solo, looks like, situation. One teammate knocked, thrown off to the side. Reason gonna be trotting all the way down, looking for that last shot. Phoenix is on low HP. These guys are absolutely flawless. Perfect from the high ground.
And they got some crucial points, but it was Vidil and Reason.
Oh, it's insane. Right now, yeah, it's tough. You're gonna be right outside, kind of like placement overall where it starts to ramp up. You do not want to go down now. You're gonna miss out on a lot of points, and this is where we get to see a POV of Reason of a deal, not actually, you know, shooting other players, but moving, deciding what to do next before the action starts. You'll notice they're kind of more trained on where people are rather than where they need to go. That's going to be huge, and that's what you see a lot of good players doing. They're trying to interrupt things first before the server starts to fly.
Yeah, this is tough. Players leaving it late to rotate, which typically you'd think is the right thing, but as you can see, Moshi gets taken out there. That leaves Kiko all alone. Reason and Vidil doing a brilliant job to just gatekeep everybody, right? Just really just stopping those players who are behind them from having a chance to get in. crucial damage being dealt, and you can see how easy it is for them, right? Knowing where players are, knowing that they aren't going to have a tough time, they can just run their way in. Maybe I've spoken too soon. A bit of pressure will be applied, but they should be able to deal with that.
You're absolutely correct. Fortnite is a two-way street when you're rotating, right? If you stop everyone behind you, it might not make everything in front of you a lot easier, but you have that insurance, you have that padding to be able to readjust, move back a box or two. You have more control that no one in the lobby has.
Yeah, and these guys are looking for control of the boxes as they try and maybe sneak out another elimination. Those players going to back off though, and Within Reason will take that as a sign of fear. Have a bit of mercy for them. And honestly, they don't need to necessarily fight at this point. 90 bills on Reason isn't phenomenal by any means, but they've got peppers that they can use to stagger, save some materials. And honestly, we know that their technical ability is supreme. And so, if worse comes to worse, a bit of coordination from them shouldn't be too difficult to find themselves a bit of a refresh. As you see now, players moving towards that first moving zone. Everyone trying to get into that 6th zone. Ryzen Phoenix, who did so well last game, 55 below, scurrying their way into zone. Not an easy position to be in. You can see people have their eyes set on them, and so it's not an easy rotation by any means, but they're going to counter back with some stinger spray as well.
Keep moving forward. Still surge an issue for a lot of teams. Both on the POV right now are going to be below, so they not only have to move, they have to still deal this damage. The end game checklist isn't active just yet. They still have to get through the last portion of how they play in that mid game. Cammy so high up in the sky, side by side with another completely different duo inside a box. Phoenix and Ryzen are going to be slightly lower though, seeing exactly what they can do. This is the perspective of kind of a first place team, and second it looks like they're close to that top 5 on the right side. So we'll see exactly who's going to go down and fall first. Reason actually going down inside the feed. Vidil gets that trade over to Karma. It looks like Forsten is in a class spawn past that. Phoenix, though, in a little bit of trouble as Surge starts to strike. They can't find a single shot. And Levin, these teams look like they're in so much trouble.
Yeah, this is really, really difficult. You're going to see desperation. They need to make a power play now, Cammy and Teak. They found so much loot, actually. A really nice refresh there, but it's not going to matter if they're still down on Surge. 37 players still up in this lobby. They need a couple to go down, but now they are above, as you can see. But that's not the same fortune for Ryzen and Phoenix. They are still struggling. And in the backside of the zone, things get really, really shaky. You can see now they're doing their best on the zone transition, but it's going to be hard. They need to find something, and soon, using some shields, trying to out-heal it for a moment. And that might actually pay off for them, as only one player now needs to go down in order for the surge to stop ticking. We're down to 30. They are good. They remain, but they're on wood and they get dropped down. They need to be careful. They need to find a sense of balance, a sense of control. And this isn't good at all. Ryzen's gone down. Phoenix now going to have to solo clutch. And as a solo, with not much to work with, things will get very difficult very quickly. Queasy and Hen up on height. That's where they want to be. But it's all in the hands of Phoenix now if he wants any chance of keeping his team in first place.
He has that torch, he's still riding with it, but only 100 mats separate him from certain demise. Meanwhile, Vidil finally cleaned out, so the power push, the type of big playmaker is not going to be here towards this end game. It'll be a little bit more calmer, quiet. That's exactly what Phoenix wants for the moment. Meanwhile, Hen and Queasy all the way up top. They're trying to drop down as much pressure as possible. Phoenix actually goes for a sprain, picks up a huge one on a Pink. He's gonna have so much more to work with now. The entire pressure and tarp that Pink had, plus his mats, plus a few heals, and that crucial med spray.
Yeah, he's doing really well here. As we said, on that backside of the zone, it means that there's so many players ahead of him, but using that med mist to great use. Gonna just play the zone, and this is actually brilliant from him. Realizing he can buy his team a bit more time, stay in the game as long as possible, just wait for players to slowly dwindle. Eventually there will come a time where he has to hit some crucial shots. He's not got a shotgun in his inventory, so we'll have to build the SMG, and if he's not careful, he might run into Rescard in just a moment. Oh dear, this gets really difficult. Yep, he will go down. Rescard will take him out. A valiant effort from VNX, but the first place team will go down. Cammy and Teak, though, still remain, and they've managed to find control. They dealt with their surge issues, and they got to what they do best, sitting here on the mid ground with absolute control. Teak, you can see him as Cammy just tarps ahead, looking for opportunities to try get some eliminations. Hen and Queasy, doing brilliantly on height. Cammy and Teak sitting fantastically in mid ground. and all the teams below them now going to be struggling to find any sort of hope in this game. Brilliant use there of the armored wall to add that extra layer of protection. And you can see they have their eyes set on all the players scurrying down below them.
This is just a simple lounge fest for Teak and Cammy all the way to first. They're just going to be able to stay alive still in second overall, though, right now. You can see it on the left side, and now pressure is coming in. No time for the Guzzle Juice to be popped. Teak will go down momentarily. He's gone. Cammy, right before they can take that first place slot, they will be denied. Queasy up top. The pressure's too much. Orion from the other side is going to look for a big jump up, but he's denied too. And now we go for the classic 2-on-2, but Hens drops first. He's going to be in a 1v2. He's going to be almost taken out immediately, but no, jumps all the way back up, and he is safe. A lot of mats for Queasy and Hen to work with as this one becomes a slow burn towards the end side.
Yeah, this looks really, really interesting.
Splashes.
See Queasy, so many splashes, and they know that they can play the waiting game. Hen will go down and try and do as much damage as he can. And you can see the players below them realizing that they're just going to wait them out. And so they're trying to force the issue. Queasy ultimately on high, just going to sit here and keep it calm. Hen will go down, and that gives the other team his siphon, but Queasy is not going to worry. He's going to just play in the back of the zone, use these splashes all day long. Don't know how he accrued them, but it doesn't matter because they get the victory royale.
Or like minor things I really want to pick up on, though, was Phoenix, who you can now see is up in first alongside Raisin. Managed to use that mid miss to get himself from